Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi,
Hello.
Amy.
Hello, how are you?
I am really good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
That's good. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
And we are once again here having a chat, connecting with our hearts. So just,
Yes.
I guess we can talk a little bit about what we're doing right now, just bringing some of this information, whatever we've been guided to bring, that help us
Mm-hmm.
to connect with our heart. That
Mm-hmm.
it is basically um, a way of preparing ourselves for what we are doing in September.
Right.
And I guess one of the tasks, if I feel that it is like sharing the information, whatever is being shared with us, whatever we have ourselves understood, and just share with you what is in here. Whatever resonates with you, take it. What it doesn't, just let it go, let it flow,
Mm-hmm.
and just bring up some perspectives in here and to share whatever has been shared with us. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that we come here once a week, about an average once a week, to share what comes to us to help to clear things away and to simplify, because there are a lot of things that are floating around in our lives. It's like being on a river after a storm and there's debris everywhere and the path is not clear. Your life is a stream and there's storms all the time and the tree branches fall and there's things in your way, and we kind of are clearing away the water, clearing the water so that we can sail more smoothly and more easily down the stream of life, so to
Yeah,
speak.
that is. We're just trying to bring a little bit of an idea of what is, to maybe bring the intangible to tangible ways to understand it in our daily lives, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so hard sometimes when we talk about spirituality, there's many concepts that
Yeah.
it's hard. One of the things that the guides and the angels have always shared is like, so this information that you have, all these tools that you have, is you have to apply them. It's not just to have them as a concept. So
Hmm.
when you understand that you have breathing techniques or you have meditation, use
Yes.
them, and you have to use them when you feel the least one, desire to do so, because obviously you're stressed and
Yeah.
when you are out of center, you don't want to do those things. So that's when you apply everything.
Yeah.
And the perspectives that we can all have, which this is something that actually is, I guess we can bring today a little bit about different perspectives and how we see the world depending where we are. But
Hmm.
before that, I would like to just invite you all. On April 27th, we're going to have another meeting with the Kogis, the Mamos, with Candy. Candy is the voice, the representative, the ambassador of the four tribes of this tribe in Colombia, in La
Hmm.
Sierra Santa Marta. They are the keepers of this ancestral wisdom, and we are working together doing this activation of the heart in Switzerland. So that's another place that we will invite you to. If you feel the call, you are welcome to come and join us in Switzerland, September 20. Well, I guess we could say that from September 20th to the 22nd, we will be doing a few things over there in Switzerland. We will share that part, the details, but
Oh, we already did it.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, perfect. So we will do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to connect with the Mamos, you want to connect with information, what they have to share with us, it would be wonderful if you can meet us and understand a little bit more what we are doing and what you are doing as well too, because most of this information will at some level resonate. And interested to find out, about their wisdom. They are Atlanteans. They don't even they are not descendants. They are
Yeah,
Atlanteans.
their last the last live that we had with them was really, that was a lot of fun, because they were talking about, Condi was talking about them being not descendants of Atlantis or the Atlanteans. They are Atlanteans themselves. They refer to themselves as Atlanteans outright. Yeah, just listening to him share the story. I'm looking forward to round two of asking some questions to get more fun information about that. It's a lot of fun. It's nice.
Yes, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
So anyways, we will invite you. That will be the next meeting is April 27. There's a link right here so you can join and you can ask questions yourself. And we will also share other ways that you can be part of this and what can you get. Oh, your cat is there. And yeah, so you can have a little bit of that magic, if you will.
Yeah.
It's just there's no words, so it's all about experience. So we will invite you so that you can get your own experience with that.
Yeah.
So I guess we are right now all around the world, and we are in this time which is called the Easter, and it's celebrated in several ways.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere has a tradition, everywhere has a different and unique way to see it. I would like to share something that I was talking with Amy a little bit earlier, right? Because she's in Canada. I am originally from Mexico, but I lived in Canada myself as well too. And then I moved here to Finland. And it is interesting how sometimes I was finding it a little bit difficult. When I arrived in Canada, I was confused about the Easter egg hunt because we don't have that in Mexico. So I was like, what is happening? Why is everybody going and, what is the meaning of it? I mean, it was fun to go and find the eggs. And then I wasn't sure, but I ended up doing this. I was hiding the eggs and pretending that was a bunny who did it at nighttime and just brought a gift. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, what am I doing? I mean, this is fun, but I didn't really understood. And as a matter of fact, I didn't understand for many, many years. I just thought that's the way they do it. In Mexico, it's nothing. There's not like that. Right now, they do it because I guess it's right now this, universal thing, the Easter egg hunt. Right now, it's just like the spread wide. But at least when I grew up, it wasn't like that. It was more about you do fasting, especially the weekend on the Friday. Especially you don't eat meat, you don't play, you don't listen to music, you don't dance, you don't nothing because you put your respects and you're thinking about that. The only thing I was just telling her before we went live is that I remember that my mom and my grandma, they always said exactly around 3 or 4 o'clock, I think, is when it started to get cloudy and it rained, and that was supposedly when Jesus died. That was basically what happened, which I don't know. That was, at that point, I was like, well, every year happened for some reason. And it was interesting. So I grew up like that. I go to Canada. I had no idea what that means, but I just do it. So that's very easy for us sometimes to do things without really understanding, right? Mm-hmm. So what was your understanding before for you as a Canadian?
As a Canadian, well, I grew up in a very Christian, my mother was very Christian, so we would definitely be going to church, and there was the very formal religious aspect to it. I think that's when we eat the bread and you drink the wine or the grape juice as the body of taking in the body of Christ. And it was supposed to be serious. When you're a kid, you're like, all right, like, a snack, like, why taking it so seriously? But then you have the other part of Easter, which is the Easter bunny's coming and he's going to leave you eggs to hunt down and chocolate. And that is actually feels pretty opposite to you having to fast all weekend and not even being allowed to play games. Whereas some of us are running around, playing and doped up on chocolate running around with chocolate sugar highs. That was my experience, but it was very Easter's a big deal over here. It's very family oriented, and oh my goodness, like you guys didn't eat meat on the weekends. This is that everybody's for Easter. It's a big ham. We makes a big ham for Easter. Some people do a turkey, which feels like a Christmassy Thanksgiving thing, but ham seems to be the Easter food to make. I don't know.
That's interesting. And the reason why we not eat meat is because it would be like you would be eating Jesus, or at that moment. Or if you were playing, it would be like you are just gambling. That was the word I was trying to look earlier.
Oh,
So they
okay.
were gambling the robe or the clothing that whatever he was wearing. They were
Right.
gambling, so that's why you're not supposed to be playing. So that was an
Okay.
interesting. So it was serious, and it's like, oh my god, what if you eat, meat, or what happened if I was playing as a kid? I felt guilty, right?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, oh shit, I'm just so in hell now because I was
Yeah.
just, playing or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's easy how, the traditions come. And this is one of the biggest things that we are healing as well, too, because uh, it depends where we are born. Oh, that's just now experiencing here. I want to share that too, that here on Easter, they do have the egg hunt, but it's not as much here, but it is actually, and
In
mostly on the
Finland.
west, in Finland, yes,
Yeah.
not so much on the Eastern, but a little bit. It's already on the Eastern, but it's mostly on the Western, closer to Sweden. There is this starts from in the 1600s. While that was pre-Christians and all that. They people used to lit a big bonfire, and that was supposed to scare the evil spirits and the witches, right? Although the burning of witches wasn't too much in here, it did happen, but not as much as in other places and other places in Europe. But that was mostly to scare them.
Mhm.
Now, eventually, when the Christianity came, well, they start doing it, as a tradition. But then the little kids start dressing up as a witch, and
Yeah.
then they were doing kind of like in North America would be the trick or treating, because now these little witches will come to the house, as basically it's a trick or trick, and then we'll get the candy. So it became all fun. Then have now the Easter egg, and again the eggs are coming back again.
Mhm.
So from that, my understanding is, okay, so what is the egg represents, right? That's what we were just kind of chatting a little bit. And
Yeah.
one of the questions that we were having too is, how do you explain that to your kids? Because obviously, I grew up like that, and sometimes you think this is fun, but then it's like, well, there is also a meaning with this. How do you explain that to your kid, and in a way that understanding? So the big one, for example, is when we talk about Santa Claus, and now you tell them that it's not. And I mean, for me, it was a hard one at the beginning, because it's like it's so magical, because you remember as a kid.
Yeah.
But then your heart gets broken when you know that wasn't like that at all, right? It's just,
Yeah.
hey, my son, it hit him so bad. He was like, she
Aw.
just lied to me. I just feel that half of my life I've been fooled. That's what he said. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
don't do that to Evalisa anymore.
Aw.
So it was
It is
hard.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter literally told me at breakfast this morning. She knows that none of it is real now. She's 7, but she told me, she's like, Mom, just so you know, I still believe in Santa Claus. I'm like, okay, that's okay. It is fun to have that magic. I'm like, I'm 43 and that's fine. We'll do the Santa
Yeah.
thing. That's fine, because it is a lot of fun. You can choose for yourself. He's not real, but you can choose for yourself to just keep going with that fun, magical idea. So, yeah.
Yes.
But going back to Jesus and all of these holidays, and you talking about feeling guilty as a child, man, my childhood as it relates to Jesus Christ was just so much guilt and so much weight, and not being able to understand it. So and I was messaging Claudia earlier, and we were just having a quick text chat about this holiday, because I do want to share something with my daughter that isn't just the consumer capitalist aspect of the eggs and the Easter bunny, and now there's gifts associated with Easter, which, wasn't really how I grew up. It was just eggs and chocolate. But I don't want her to go into the super heavyweight Christian Bible story either. I'd like to share with her something that's not guilt-ridden, and yeah. So that's kind of where we started our conversation this morning. A story that is a little bit, I don't know, like higher. I can't even, I was trying to think of the words earlier to describe what I would like for myself and for my daughter, a new like a paradigm shift on this holiday. That's not just about the eggs and the Easter bunny, and it's not just about the suffering of Jesus Christ and, you know, that we're all sinners destined to burn in hell for all eternity. Like, there's got to be some lovely other place to go. Yeah.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
this is this about the guilt part and the fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's unfortunately what has happened, because we've been always focusing to the pain, right? So we had to feel guilty, and because the story that we were told is that Jesus was, he was crucified. Is that how you say it? Crucified?
Crucified.
Crucified
Yeah.
as to save us.
Yeah.
And it is, in a sense, it is, but not the way that we are interpreted it, right? So he was showing us the way. So basically, his words were misunderstood, misinterpreted, especially
Misinterpreted.
when misinterpreted. Yeah, because when he was talking about, I am the way, it's not like he is the only way. He was showing us that there is the way, and that we, each one of us, we are the way. So we have our own path to
Yeah.
come and to
Mhm.
do and to heal. And this part of the guiltiness, I'm gonna go back a little bit even younger. When I was 8 or 9, I remember that I was having some already experiences myself, like mediumship, and seeing things and hearing things and seeing angels.
Mhm.
And according to the church, will say I was being visited by some sort of a devil, or some monsters, or what, there's a word in Spanish, I think
Demons.
that's a word in English. Some demons, like a rascal demons, and they were trying to trick me to think that they were angels and this like that.
Yeah.
And according to them, it's like it only happens to people who are bad. So then I thought, okay, so I remember telling this my mom, because I had the most horrendous dream. I had a dream where I was being chased by the devil, according to whatever my head was, right? And it was horrendous. But at the end, I remember seeing, and this is one of those dreams that is still quite present, because I remember like just it was yesterday. There was almost like a war from in heaven and in hell. Like literally, I can see fire and I can see so much chaos. There was a lot of fire, and I was running and trying to escape, and I was trying to bring people. That's actually, I do remember, pulling someone behind me, and it just got to one place. Eventually, I made it to one spot that we knew that we were safe, and there was Jesus, and then there was a light, and he says, the light will always prevail. I remember always saying that. And then I was having experiences, like seeing things. So I remember the priest said to me, it's like, you have to pray. You've been attacked by by demons and things like that. So I asked my mom, I'm gonna go to hell because really, I'm a bad person? Because why? And my mom said to me, it's like, no, especially children, you are not a bad person or anything. You are innocent and you're pure. And I said, but then you have this first a scene, when you're born. That's the first thing they say. You have the scene of being born or whatever. So my mom also explained this to me. When Jesus talks about allow the children to come to me, that also refers to the children of each one of us, even as an adult, right? That they're within. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I had the most beautiful dream, and that was my first encounter with Jesus when he came up. He came into my dream, and him and Mother Mary came and visited me, and that was one of the first I had in my life, 3 of them, and that was the first one. Just then, maybe a couple of years later, I had another one, and the most recent one, which I had probably about 4 months ago. And it was just, again, I was like so happy to see him again, because like, oh my God, I've been waiting for you for so long, right? Anyways, what happens with these fears that we are having, right? So we are constantly growing and doing things, thinking that we are doing wrong, that we are going to hell, like you just said. And the fear, it's just because actually not only stays on this end, because this fear, if when we transcend, we are bringing with us this load, and it makes us feel heavy, and we will be heavy on the other side. We will go with fear in a place there is no space, there is no time. So imagine this. So we know that we manifest anything that we want right now. It is already done. But because we are not 3D, it takes a little bit of time. But if you go with this awareness of, fear, thinking that, say, that the devil will be poking you, the first thing you will see on the other side will be absolutely that. Eventually, it'll get to life, right? So it does make a big impact. It don't only stays in here. It actually
Yeah.
comes after we go and do this.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. So the fear that we all feel, about things, it's just, it depends where we are. That's why our culture, our belief system, all of that, it makes a big impact in how we see these, all of these traditions or big events in the world, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure Buddha also has an egg, a golden egg as well too, in his story as well too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That guilt is a big thing, especially in Christianity, with the idea that we're all born sinners. And like, you've got your little kids going to church being taught these things, that Jesus was sacrificed in such a brutal way for you and for your sins, and you were born a sinner. And for the children in their formative years, that's such a big program that is being basically installed into this little human being who doesn't really have the ability to verbalize questions necessarily. They just take the information that they're told and they internalize that, and then they build the structures of their life as they grow on these ideas that you're a sinner. There's nothing you can do to get away from that. You just have to pray and pray and pray and pray and ask for forgiveness. That was the hardest thing for me as a child, and I would cry in my bed at night by myself, like not understanding what I did and not understanding what I needed to ask for forgiveness for, but asking for it anyway and not feeling any different. That ask for forgiveness for being a sinner, and not feeling like I was, I don't know, forgiven or accepted, and feeling like Jesus was with all of the other children except for me, because I couldn't figure out what are my sins, and how do I ask for forgiveness for something that I did that I don't know that I did. So it's
Exactly.
like it sets that whole, but the whole, you're when you're a young child, from my experience anyway, as a young child, I didn't know how to verbalize that. I didn't know how to say that to my mom, because she was the Christian that would bring us to church, and she's the one that introduced all of those ideas to us. So to have those big heavy weights to carry as a child, and you go on your life and you grow with these things in the background, these background programs playing, and there's a sense of hopelessness to it. I don't know. That's not obviously everybody's experience, but that was certainly my experience. And as an adult, I've had to, like you say, with your inner child, sit down in meditation and close my eyes and ask Jesus to join me. And I let my inner child actually go and sit on his lap with him and say, yes, you are welcome there. You can go there. And it's just like, I don't know, it's a sense of relief. Or for anybody else who's out there who's struggling with the programming that they might have been taught as a Christian growing up, that if they had any sort of experience, any in any way related to mine, I definitely encourage you to try sitting down, if you haven't already, and letting your inner child go sit in Jesus's lap. It's very comforting.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I feel that one of the things is that people also, especially people who are not religious, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
right, that how to even relate to all of this. I mean, they know about Jesus, but they take it so, into religion context, which he was not religious. Jesus was not religious at all. The religion came afterwards, right? But the thing is, this affects us more than we think. And one of the things that I was actually talking with my family too is like, then you realize now that even my oldest daughter was saying, it's like, wow, everybody's just it's a different thing, right? It depends where you are in the world. Are you wrong? Are you right? I think everybody is right. We all have a different perspective, and of course the culture, whatever was needed at that point. One of the things that, for example, the crucifixion, that's what they had at that time, right? That was the means of doing things. And right now we have different ways. Maybe they use the gas chamber or whatever, right?
Yeah, they use lethal injection, I think.
Literally, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what they had back then.
Yeah.
And just, like, this is something that also the church will put that into you, so you see the suffering, so you feel guilty, oh my God, I have to be a good person, or otherwise no. Because you tell me, how many of us, of course we all have our shadows. See, this is the important thing about the whole thing, about all of these things, is that in order for you to become enlightened like Jesus, you have to come from the darkest part of yourself to shine. Jesus knew exactly what he was going to do right here. And he was although he had that awareness, and he was, well prepared, and he had the assistance and all that, he also was a human. And he went through the process of preparation, where we all know, the times of temptation, when he was in the desert for the 40 days and all that stuff, because he was a human as well too. And he had to go through this preparation himself in order to serve, to get to the point. Imagine, he spent all his life basically, to do his teaching for about 3 years or so. That's something like that. So he went through a long process, and there's a lot of things that when he was young that they're not being told. And his process and many other things that we just have one version that we were told, but there's many versions and many views of all these things. And the guilt helped to people to have to maybe not with that intent. I don't think that was the intention at the very beginning, because when people will gather together and they will say, okay, it's like if I tell you right now, let's go all meditate, like we just feel good because we are all meditating and everything. But if I tell you that this is the only way that you can be closer to God, or this and that, then we are in trouble right here. Because I don't think religion is bad at all, because it's good. I don't have problems going to the church. Actually, I really enjoy going to the church myself. And right now, I understand, because people really go there with devotion. A lot of people, they really go and they're in there for gratitude. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of fear, of course, but there is an energy of wanting to connect with, the one infinite creator at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The problem, I guess, it comes when we are telling others that my way is the only way.
Yes.
And that's just the problem. So let's talk a little bit about what the egg represents in general, because more people talks about this egg in Easter right now, and it's actually it's a golden egg. It's known as the golden egg. But the egg, it's like the cosmic womb, and it's in a way it's something very symbolic of it's a female energy, and the potential that exists within the egg. So that's why we have the surprise eggs, those Kinder eggs, right? For example, you have always a surprise inside, right? It's actually quite exciting when I get to see. I start putting it together. It's like, that's so exciting because it's so cool. You don't know what's gonna come inside, right?
Yeah.
And it is infinite possibilities that can be created into this womb. So when it's also a symbol of rebirth, that's what happens on the Easter. Also, springtime is a rebirth, because we are coming from the darkest time, from the winter, and now we are going back again into the daytime. So we are coming from the shadows, from the dark, and now we are awakening again into the light, which in other ways you can also call this resurrection, and it's a rebirth. Because most of us, especially on the north, right, this is also based a lot on the north too, we are it's like a clock, really. We are just going to sleep in the winter, and we have to go in hibernation to some extent, and we are dark, and we tend to spend more time indoors because the weather, there is not very much light, so you need to do a lot of inner work. Another way to see this too is when this rebirth happens. It's like the lotus flower, in your crown chakra, when it opens, and that lotus flower comes from where? From the deepest and the darkest ponds or mud, and it just comes, and it just opens, and this is just a beautiful flower. So we go through this rebirth, which is also resurrection as well too. It's just a way to see it as well too. And it's again a new beginning. So it is a rebirth. And Easter is when you get to see again the plants to come out. So it's just a moment of birth. Do I
Yeah,
understand?
and in Aries, which is the first zodiac sign and the sign of fire, which I also see as like rebirth and through fire.
Exactly.
I feel
Exactly. And now, in a way, when we hide those eggs, Easter eggs, for example, so the bunny, it represents also a rebirth. It's just bunny is good to making babies, right? Lots of lots of babies. So there's a lot of time, and if you see a lot of animals, even dogs, they're in heat around this time too, because they know there's this again, time for new life, time for new
right.
life. So even in the nature and our biology, we can all feel that.
Yeah.
So when we decorate the eggs, you can say that, you can just, it's your outer shell, that's ourselves right there.
Yeah.
The inner egg is what is inside the infinite possibilities. So a
Mhm.
representation of that could be that you just take those eggs and then you just put them on the path that you are walking, right? And as you collect them, there's infinite possibilities of you finding new ways of, or more things about yourself that are within. And it's fun to put it outside. So if you will, something that just came to me the other day is that just take an egg, those even plastic eggs, and just put words, that you can find, you can find the different words about yourself, kindness and beauty. And I don't know, you can just go with that. And that's different things. And just, shake them. And as you go, you can take and you can open. For some reason it comes to me like for the next 12 days, you can actually take one egg and open one egg, and you have one message for yourself. So you can just do it for yourself as well too. You can do it for your child as well too. And
Yeah.
something for them to see. It's like, oh, kind of like those Chinese cookies, kind of
Yeah.
the thing,
Yeah.
something
Fortune
like that.
cookies.
Fortune cookies,
Oh, I
yes.
love that idea. That's great.
I think that I think that's a good idea too. And
Yeah.
just to experience that. And it is fun because, like you said, having that time with your children is fun. I actually did it
Mhm.
myself. We did the eggs and we got to color them and everything. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm just, putting in different places. And then it was fun to, for them to find them in the morning because although they know, it's fun just a hunt. It's like a treasure hunt, right? Let's just go
It's
and find
still fun. Yeah.
so much fun and the candies and everything. Although here it's not as heavy as in Canada because in Canada it's like egg hunts everywhere. I remember that over there was just so much fun. And the kids, they miss that because here it's not like that at all. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's fun.
yeah. So that's,
Yeah. So, I just, before I forget, I want to point something out about our Patreon. Are you okay with us
yes, of
pointing
course, we
that
can
out?
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just getting that off the ground. We have set up um, a Patreon account, I guess you could call it, and we have various tiers that offer various offerings at the different tier levels, and you're welcome to join us there at whatever level you feel comfortable with. And something that Claudia, I'm looking forward to Claudia eventually doing this. Claudia is going to have an offering on there that is going to be available for purchase, whether you're a part of a tier or you stick to the free membership. It's going to be called. Are you going to call it cosmic underwear?
Why not? I think it's fun. The cosmic underwear, yes.
Yeah, the cosmic underwear, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a little bit of a meditative, sure, it's like 5 minutes or less.
Yeah,
Do
something,
you
yeah.
do you do you want to describe it, or do you want me to keep bumbling my way through it?
The cosmic underwear, I call it to this way of protecting your energy.
Yeah,
So, it's like you don't want to leave your house without underwear. You don't leave your house without this cosmic underwear, which is your bubble of protection, and what you call in your angels and your guides, and to
yeah,
just, you know, keep yourself, protected your energy. And that could also be very important even with your own family. When you wake up in the morning, and
yeah,
someone can be just waking up a little bit cranky that morning or whatever. So then you actually are more centered, and you're able to navigate that a little bit more calm without, just losing your mind. And it also protects your energy throughout the whole day for whatever you are. And then before you go to bed, it's very important to do that before you go to bed. And it's not because something can be hurting you. Let's just make that clear. It's nothing can really hurt you at all. But when we are, let's just put it this way: if you go outside and you're playing on the mud, and it just imagine going to bed with muddy clothing, that's just not comfortable. So you feel heavy. Chances are that you might be having even nightmares or things like that, because you're collecting, energies. You're going through the streets, and then there will be people talking, or someone tells you about a situation, a problem, or anything, and all of that is in your energy. So we need to become aware of that we have to just rinse ourselves, and that helps us to be definitely more heart-centered and grounded, and you're able to tackle things a little bit more easier. So we will be doing that. And the reason for doing the Patreon account, just for people to remember, is that we are collecting the funds that we need for the Mamos and for this activation in Switzerland. That's basically for all the expenses. And again, there is the expenses of them, because they literally don't need anything. They live on the mountain, and they're so happy there, but they need to do this task. There's their mission, and our mission is to work together right now. And I guess our mission is to be these bridges right now to make this happen as well. And to also help the movement of these sacred elementals, which is from stones. And these stones are keys. They are chips of information that need to be returned into the right places in order to bring balance to the earth. So what they have shared with us is that in all this cosmic energy that we are receiving, in order for us to really anchor it right here on earth, we need to have all these pieces in place. Otherwise, it's like not having all the cables together. So it's like a short circuit. So it needs to be done on one hand. The next thing is also that our connection with Gaia will be more clear, because then the net will be, all the cables, everything will be in place. So our connections will be more clear. So we are getting these funds to get this done. And there's several ways that you can do that. So you can have, donation, or you can also purchase. There's a beautiful sacred geometry mochilas or bags, and they are woven by the women over there, the Saga women. And when they do your bag, it takes about 3 months or so, and they basically connect with your energy. They channel that information, and then you have a specific pattern, whatever they feel that is, the right thing. And these mochilas or bags are more than just a bag. It really represents a lot of your energy right there. It's actually quite interesting. So that connection is amazing. And well, we are just working it together to do this. We will be there again in Switzerland, so you are more than welcome to be with us there physically. But if you can't, you can just, there are some ways right here. Amy just posted over there the ways that you can, all the information you can find it at etherandcore.com, and you can find more information about this. And if you're hearing this, it's because you have the call as well. There is no coincidence. It's just God incidences right now.
Yeah, and I will post the on the ways to support website that I just posted. There is, you can find the GoFundMe, which we are. You can find the GoFundMe fundraiser on there. You can find our Patreon page on there, and you can also find the shop where you can go and take a look at some of the mochila bags that the women of the Arawaku tribe have created just as examples of the work that they do. They're quite beautiful, and they weave every single stitch by hand. It's quite amazing that they make them. And I'm going to post right now also the Switzerland page that we have put up, if you are interested in learning more about that when the time comes and we have more information to share. That's like a a mailing list that you can be added to, so that when we have more details about Switzerland actually physically going there, as well as what options we will have available for people to join us remotely, just sign up for that. And when we have that information to share, we'll send out an email for all those who are interested in staying connected in that way.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is well, basically all these conversations and these connections are based on that. Just to share with you the energy of what is happening, and the call for Switzerland is to be connected with our hearts, and that happens every day in every task that we do. And the things that we have experienced ourselves right now is with each one of those meetings that we have had. It's unique. Each one of us receive from the same words something different, because this is what we need to hear, that's what we need to understand.
Yeah.
And it is magical, like really it is magical. And besides that, just to remind you that if you are here listening to this, it's because there is a call to you to some extent. And it's actually crazy because there is no coincidences, like really there is not. And
No.
one thing to know is that, to remind you all that we are all here on the mission. We all have a specific mission, and we all have several things. We came here to do many things, not only this planetary task. We also came here to learn how to be a mom, how to be a dad, how to be a friend, and do all of those things. And I'd like to share something that, first of all, the guys were sharing for us right now to work, and something is our communication. How are you communicating? That's one of the tasks that we are working us as a team right now, because in order for us to do this, they have to calibrate us as well too. So we have to be really in harmony. So how do you communicate? When you're communicating, are you communicating from your heart or from your mind? Are you saying things because you feel triggered, or you are bringing things that really feels in alignment with who you are, even though they might not seem that people will accept? Because if you want to say no to something, and you feel like you can't say that because people might get upset, you're not honoring yourself. So you just need to be responsible with the words that you're using, and say, you know what, hey, this is not what I need, or not what I want. I don't resonate with this. And I'm being honest with you, and that's it. And then the other person, or us as a receivers too, we have to see that how I am receiving this, and what I am getting from this, and what is moving me. Because let's focus more into the message and not to the messenger. Let's remember that we all have a role in here, and sometimes we have to be the villains, sometimes we have to be the heroes, and we have heroes and villains in our lives, and we all have a purpose. And one thing that was coming strong last week for us is to honor ourselves, and to understand that we have to put healthy boundaries with people. And sometimes it's very hard to do that, maybe with family, especially with close, or even friends, or mom or dad. And because we feel that we feel obligated, but it's not. At a soul level, we all want the best for each one of us. All I want, even if you see your enemy wants the best thing for you at a soul level, but here is playing a role. So here you have to understand, it's okay, if you understand that, that what is unconditional love, that a soul level is a different thing. You are here experiencing this, and you need to learn. Maybe your task is here to learn how to put a healthy boundary. Maybe it's with mom, maybe it's with dad, and that's it. That's part of your experience. And one of the things that will remind me is that, do not forget that you have to enjoy your physical life too. Because that's why you are here. Often when we are talking about spirituality, we tend to check out. We tend to go, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go there. It's so much easier to be there. It's so much easier to be there. And then what reminding me is like, enjoy it. Like the sunset, those things, like if you have, I don't know, your favorite toy, or your favorite car, or your favorite chocolate, and stuff, really truly enjoy them, because that's why we are here too. Sometimes it is a misunderstanding that we cannot focus into material stuff because it's a bad thing. No. You have to also connect with the material parts, obviously in balance, right? but
Imbalance. Yeah.
imbalance. But it's like, what is it that you? One of the things that were asking me the other day is like, what is it that you enjoy the most here on Earth? What is the material thing? Is it your house? Is it your car? Is it your couch? And it's okay. It is good to realize that this is so important, as well as like maybe if you want to talk to your angels and your guides, there
Yeah.
is not one more. They actually equally important. And you are here as a human, and you have chosen to be here. So let's enjoy this trip, because it's actually a holiday, if you will. It sometimes might not appear maybe like a horror movie, if you will, but
Yeah.
this trip is actually, the way that they put it to me is like, imagine that you are going to a different country and a holiday, right? Sometimes you
Yeah.
have difficulties, and sometimes you find it quite hard, and maybe you had a bad experience here and there. But what happens when you return home? You feel like, oh my God, I went through all of that, but that was cool. I'm happy I figured it out. I wish I had done this or that. It's the same thing for us in our experience right here on Earth. So
Yeah.
enjoy it, and it's okay sometimes to have the downs, because when we go down, that's what it helps us to gain the momentum and the energy that we need to come up. And again, it's when we come from the darkness, is how can we see the light. And right now, where we are at this moment, perhaps many of you are feeling the need to become a little bit lighter. Like maybe you want to cleanse yourself. Maybe you don't feel that hungry. Maybe you want to maybe eat a little bit lighter, even actually.
Yeah.
And that's part of the cleansing and replenishing yourself. And it is a rebirth as well too, because now you have, after coming from the winter, again, especially in the northern hemisphere, you feel like, it is time for you to uh, come out like the flower. Now, if you're in the south, on the other hand, right, now you're coming to a time of quietness. Now you're coming a time to go to sleep, if you will, right, to introspection and go within, and then you go back again in, was in December, right, December 21st. So
Mm-hmm.
these are the cycles that we have been disconnected, because right now we are also following a different calendar. If we are the Gregorian calendar, that's not the right one. That well, I mean, that was man-made here, but originally we had the Atlantean calendar. Is very similar to the Mayan calendar as well too, which is 13 months, and you have uh, they have more connection with the moon, with the sun. You're based on the solstices and equinoxes. And again, if you're on the other hand talking about the cross of Jesus, which symbolizes north, south, east, and west, and symbolizes also the elements as well too, the water, fire, air, and air, and all of that. So that's all the symbols that we see in there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of enjoying life, we get this term called guilty pleasures, which is just
Yeah,
more of a focus on guilt yet again. Like it's okay to be a human. It's okay to have these things that you really enjoy. Obviously, everything needs to be in balance, but like if you want to go down to the beach today instead of cleaning your stove, you just go enjoy yourself. Make sure you have some balance, but yeah, it's spur of the moment, and not everything has to be planned. And follow your heart, and find those sparks of joy, and follow through on them for your own life. For my husband's passed away, and he reminded me not too long ago that life on Earth flies by a lot faster than you think it does. It's over before you know it, like the blink of an eye. And for some reason, when I think of life on Earth, I think I know why I feel this way. Maybe not everybody will resonate with this, but I feel like for anyone who's watched the Harry Potter movies, when the characters look into the pensive bowl, and they have the memory, they pour the memory in, and they put their face into the bowl. That's what life on Earth feels like for me. I really resonate with that imagery, that you're just putting your face in there temporarily. You're going to pull your face back out, and it's all going to have been not a dream necessarily, but kind of like a dream. You're experience this thing, and it goes by really fast. Make sure that you're here enjoying things, and not allowing yourself to be laden with guilt for everything. And what were you talking about earlier? I lost that train of thought. You were talking about something earlier. Enjoying life and not letting things pass you by. Just everybody kind of like keeping their head down, thinking that I just got to keep working. I got to keep my head down. I can't be indulgent in life. I need to keep working and doing the right thing, particularly for these various religions that think that you have to, just work and work and work and pray and wait for joy comes in the afterlife. Once you've been forgiven and accepted by God through the pearly gates, then you get to enjoy. Now is not the time for enjoyment, which is actually like, oh, it was your message you were talking about how we communicate and how we allow people to communicate with us. And we want to communicate through the heart. You can have whatever religious, spiritual, or atheistic beliefs you want to have, whatever resonates for you, but still going through your heart and viewing life through the heart space instead of through the mind, which is guilt and it's I should do this or I shouldn't do that and I don't deserve, or whatever other messages that could be rolling around in there based on poor programming or programming that we need to become aware of and see ourselves through to the other side of. Like maybe that's something that we wanted to come down here and learn. But again, back to communicating through the heart, which was a message that you received from Thoth.
Mm-hmm.
And that certainly applies to this Christian holiday of Easter, is communication, because many people are going to church and they are receiving communication. And is it making you feel heavy and guilty, or is it making you feel light and you're receiving something that is nourishing to your heart, to your spirit, to your soul? So accepting the pieces that make you feel that feel like a heart-based message. And if you are ready for that, to just decline the ones that just fill your mind with guilt.
And that would be like, yes. And, I think one thing that when people ask, in general, when do you know that you're receiving, this guidance, or you know that your angels and your guides or God, Jesus, whoever is around, you will always receive messages, information that will be uplifting. Even sometimes the angels can pull you by the ear. They might say something like, okay, lady, just get up and go, right? But it always will be an uplifting and clear and straight. When you hear things, or when you feel that it just makes you feel uncomfortable and it's negative, and it is that is not your angels, that is not your guides, that is not Jesus, because God would never torture you by any means, right?
Yeah.
So basically that would be ourselves. That's a little chatty box over there, our belief system talking, say, hey, what, who do you think you are? And that's how religion will come in there, to say, oh, really? Are you sure you're gonna go to hell if you keep thinking that, right? You just had a bad thought. You just, I was telling the churches, you never cross your legs. You never cross your legs, right? And now I understand the one thing why you don't cross your legs, actually, and that's I learned it through this. And it's basically because the energy flows. You become a portal. So a lot of people going into the church is a lot of people with energy there. So there's also a lot of people who uses energy. You go to a concert and you are giving your energy right there, for example.
Yes, you are.
And if you don't go with if you don't have your cosmic underwear, if you're not aware of this, your energy can be used for other things as well too. So
absolutely. Let's have some Taylor Swift concert goers go there with a little bit more consciousness. So that it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes. And another thing about it, talking about, those moments of thinking about material stuff. Most of us, we don't want to feel, when you feel guilty if you feel like you want to have something, because there is a belief thinking that if you're greedy, or if you want more, then you're not going to be able to go to heaven, right? Because it's just not going to, what did they say? I forgot how is the saying goes, but basically the rich people will not be able to go through the eye of a needle or something like that, right? Or it's easy to,
Okay.
well, how do you go? It's easy to pass a camel or something from the eye of a needle than a rich person or something like that. But that's
Okay,
it.
I'm not too familiar with that one.
Yeah, I will actually remember that. But this is just, at least in religion, Catholic religion is well known that. But
Mhm.
what I ask is that the true meaning of that is that it's in the heart, how rich you are in your heart. Like
Mhm.
there's people who are rich in the mind, and those
Mhm.
rich people in the mind will be based on ego, and it's just about oneself, right? When you're
Right.
rich in your heart, it can come in many ways. You can actually have money and having abundance of money and have all these things, and still you can go to heaven. It's where you and from which way you are manifesting this money. The greediness comes as it's only for me, for me, for me, for me. But when you understand that in the universe everything is just a constant giving and receiving, it's a constant flow of movement, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Eventually, when you are trying to, you see it that often, it might take thousands of years, as we see it right now. We might talking hundreds of years or a lifetime, whatever. But if you're trying to accumulate just to keep it for yourself without
Yeah.
sharing, just to
Yeah.
say it that way, eventually all those things will collapse. You will lose it all, right?
Right. But
Because anything,
being rich in the heart does not mean you can't be rich in your bank account as well.
exactly,
Right.
you can
It's
have
not, they're
money.
not
It's just
mutually exclusive. You don't have to pick one.
no, you don't. It's just
Yeah.
that it all depends when you are manifesting, right? You're
Mhm.
manifesting from your heart, and you're really doing it because if you do your passion, you say you will be doing things in coherence.
Mhm.
And here's the two coherence that do exist, because the people has asked, well, how are these bad people, okay, what we consider bad people, they do all these crazy things. They always work for them because they are coherent. They think, they believe, and they do things in the same way. The only difference is because they are in their minds and they are just based on self, only oneself. They don't
Yeah.
care about anybody else, right?
Yeah.
But when you are a coherent person and you're in your heart, whatever you manifest, it will be in unity and it will be last longing because it will be with coherence. And then you will be surprised many times because people will just do their passion and all of a sudden just becomes successful in many ways. Then you realize that the money perhaps is not exactly everything, but the success is that you feel fulfillment. You feel fulfilled because you're doing everything that you want. You're maybe doing paintings, and perhaps your painting was shown to people, and that was just it. And
Mhm.
maybe if it's relevant for you this life, it'll come to you. It's just that we have an understanding about money in a different way, and we
Yeah.
have to feel that. And
Mhm.
that's basically it. But you should enjoy your physical life without feeling guilty. Of course, what I tell my children when we talk about sin, what is a sin? So for me, and at least I explain to my kids, is sin is when you do something to hurt someone, and you already know that will hurt in some shape or form. So if you know that if what you're gonna say will hurt someone, or if you do something that I don't know, you steal, obviously it's not a good thing, right? Because it will affect someone else. Anything that you do that you already know consciously that it will hurt someone, that is
Mhm.
considered perhaps a sin, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And you can give it all the names that you want, stealing, killing, everything, anything that it comes into affect someone else, and you do it with that's why when the guys were saying how you communicate, but not only verbally too, but it's also in your actions.
Yeah.
Is it coming from your heart or from where? Because you can say mean words and they can hurt so much worse
Yeah.
than someone hitting you or punching you in the
Yeah.
face or something like
Those
that.
words last a long time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they are. So before actually we close these, I would like to just now that we were talking about these balancing things, especially right now, talking about this greediness and everything, understanding that we're working with the Atlantean energy right now, right? And we are working a lot with the Mamos, and they are Atlanteans. And one of the things that we know how they work, or at least when Atlanteans were in their best times, that was about 19,000 years ago, not 13,000, because 13,000 is when they collapsed. But 19,000 approximately, 19 to 20,000 years ago, they all work in harmony. Each one of them, they were rich in what they had. So they work always in the elements, based on the elements. So they have the four elements, which is water, fire, earth, and air, and then they have ether. And ether would be basically Arcturians, and it would be the cosmic connection, if you will. They just put it that way, but it was based with Arcturians or even Thoth as well on that time in Egypt, even before Egypt. Anyways, so the way that they used to do things is that each element, let's just call it that each one of them, there will be family. So the family of the water, they also will have the three aspects that will be divided. They will be divided into physical, mental, and spiritual. You can go moon, sun, and I'm forgetting this one. It will come to me. But it's divided into the three. But basically, it's physical, mental, and spiritual, the three levels. All right. And so each one of them, so that would be the 12. So that would be 12 families in general, which is also based on the 12 constellations. So they will be in balance. So each one of them will have enough knowledge and wisdom in their habits. So let's just say, let's talk about a seed. Let's say the element water knew how to care of the seed, how to, let's just say, sow it. And then there will become the element air, earth, they will harvest, or they will do the nourishment. They will have a specific knowledge in how to make it grow. And then you have the element water that would know actually government in the Atlanteans means sale. So there will be the people who would take everything and do the sale and exchange and all that. That's why they were always based on water, or very close to the water channels and everything, rivers and oceans and stuff like that. So each one of them, each one of the elements have something important. So they needed each one of them. Nobody was more important. Each one of them had a task to do. And that's how they were. There was no hierarchy. There was nobody more important than other.
Right.
That's something that we have forgotten, because now ourselves, we can have the seed, I can have the water, I can have the land, and I can have the knowledge. And I said, this is all mine, so I have it. So, okay, you want some of this? Come and get it. So that's what is got out of control. Now we have to learn, and now this is the era of Aquarius, which we are intended to work all together, right? So work in a net, and the Aquarius is all about, togetherness and work in collective, right? And understanding that we are all individuals. Each one of us, we have something important to bring, but I'm not more important than you, and you're not more important than anybody else. So each one of us, we have something to bring, and it's unique. And now thinking that someone is more important, or taking your idea that, you don't know anything, so I will know, I'll do it for you. That's when we give our power away.
Right.
So we have to understand that each one of us, we have something important, we are unique, but we need to learn how to work everyone together in collective ways. And that's our biggest task, because right now, for the past 13,000 years or so, we've been doing this in a way that's why we feel that, we don't want to be greedy, because we don't want to be a bad person, because it's all about me, right?
Right.
So, and that's how also the Kogis, the Kogi is one of those tribes, right, in Santa Marta. And there's the Aruacos, and then there's the, I forgot how do you pronounce the other one?
Viva.
The Wivas, and the I forgot the other one.
Kakuamo.
Kakuamo, yes.
Yeah.
So they work like that too. So each one of those tribes, they have their own special task in this, at this moment. Right. And the ether will be the Mamos, which the Mamos are the connections. They are super connected with out there, literally, and with the earth as well too. So they are the wise men, if you will, and they are working in that matter too. So they are helping us to understand that. And they will, one of the things that they always share, and I find it quite cool actually, is that they don't want to teach us anything, because they want us to understand that we know it ourselves. And if they start teaching you how to do something, basically they will be doing what we've been what has been done for the past 13,000 years, that we go to the religion part there, and someone is telling you how you have to do things, how
Yeah.
you have to pray, how you have to do this. And they
Yeah.
said they will disconnect you more from who you are, right? So
Right.
I
Because it
do agree with
ends up being a little bit like painting your own canvas versus doing a paint by number.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
There's an image already there and it's very blocky and it tells you put the purple here and not over there and put the brown here. And yeah, so it's, they don't want to dictate to you, they don't want to paint the picture for you. And
No,
this is all about that whole adage of know thyself, right? That self
exactly.
exploration and going inward to learn who you are. And you can ask others for help with self exploration, but they're not telling you. Um,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing that I found often too. Like sometimes in spirituality, when I hear people, I have never resonated with that when people say it, it's like, this is the only way that you can do this. It's like, no,
yeah,
it's not. At least my intent, for example, is to share with people, maybe a way that I found, they helped me to do something, for example. And the intent is just like you said, so that you can actually explore yourself, and when I send you the message from the angels, for example, your guides, I'm just being just the messenger. Okay, your angels suggest that maybe you should just meditate, or you know go for a walk, or whatever. There are things that will help you so that you can continue learning about more about yourself. But if
hmm,
someone comes and tells you, if you do this and this, like a long time ago, I remember this lady came to me and he said, okay, I went to see this person and they opened my third eye, but I don't see anything. It's like, it's just not working. I want my money back. And I said, no, it's not like that. I mean, that will help you, absolutely. But you're not gonna be able to see until you understand your own biology. Why is it that you don't see? Maybe you're not intent to see on this life that way. Maybe you need to hear. Maybe you can hear to clear sentience. Maybe not even clear audience. Or you have to understand your biology. And these chakras right here, basically, that is our path. We have to explore. We have to understand our own biology. We have to understand how things react for me. Like we were just talking about, any messages will feel different for each one of us.
hmm,
And the messages, you need to trust your intuition. If you have fears, you have to understand why your fear is coming, why are you creating what you're creating, why you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and all of that comes from here, right? Then you understand maybe why your heart is closed or open, and how you're communicating, and how you're seeing things, and understand your connection with all it is. And these are portals that will help you to find things. And that doesn't mean that we are always broken, something is wrong. No, it's just how we make this life exciting in here. We become Indiana Jones. It's like, hey, now let's figure out, why am I feeling like this, right? So
hmm, hmm,
it is a life process. That's why they always say you have to do this with joyful uh, thoughts, and then you have to really enjoy the time and have fun. Just be like a kid, right? Take it serious, but not so serious. Because if you take it so serious, then you become stressed, and that's no fun at all.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's a little trying to force things a little bit, which can constrict the the path or the whole. I feel like when you're trying to push things and force things and be strict with things, I have to do this in this way and I have to do it. Um, I don't know. It just feels like that the channel through which things come through gets smaller, kind of constricts it if you're a little bit too rigid and you're a little bit too forceful with it, instead of being there like a child with joy and open and receptive. The channel is much more relaxed and open.
Yeah, that's actually what they always say to me too. Like, I know most of the time I get this great information and messages and clarity when I'm doing anything but meditating, for example.
Yeah.
Because I'm driving and it looks like, oh my God, there's a good message right here coming. And sometimes I have to record while I'm driving, because otherwise I will forget. Or when you're doing laundry, or you're walking, or having a shower, because you're in a receptive mode, not an expective mode. And when we go and meditate, we tend to expect something. And the idea is that when you go to meditation, meditation is actually to hear things, really. When you're praying is when you're asking, if you will, but when you're meditating, it's about receiving. So, and the idea is just to sit there, but not necessarily your voices or your mind will be quiet. The truth is not, is that you don't feed the thought. All of a sudden you start thinking, whether I close the door or not. It's like, okay, you'll be fine. Obviously, you close it, but obviously your mind is just trying to get you out of what you're doing, and that's just the way it is. So the less food you put into those thoughts, the better. And it's about sitting in there and just basically, the way I see it is like plugging myself into the, to the charging station, and that's how it is. And often you will have great experiences if you're not expecting anything. So you just sit there and see what happens, just to go there and maybe just to reconnect with yourself. But, just being aware of that, you will have a better time and just enjoy, like really enjoying a holiday right here. And it's just, I don't know, I guess when you start in the gratitude, I think is the best way that you can do that, because unconditional love is a hard one to start. Let's start with the gratitude. And they say the gratitude, grateful for what you have. Maybe you look outside, the day you have here, because one day you're not going to be here. Yeah. And that's it. All these problems that we think we have, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
Right? So be the best human you can. That's what I always say, that to my children, and I know that you're going to have experiences, but that's going to help you to understand, what are those things, and have fun, just respect yourself and respect others. And I guess it's simple sometimes to say it and more complicated to do it, but it is possible for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
All right, so I think, thank you. That was
thank you. And happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too. I think that was
thank you.
Really, really good. I think I just want to say thank you. Maybe just take a minute, just 1 minute really quick. It's 1 hour, 11 minutes exactly we are here. So we're just going to do a good grounding. Sure. Just to kind of, it's a lot of information. Perhaps there's people that has never heard any of this, but just to kind of integrate this information, we're just going to open your heart. That's basically what the I guess the angels or our task for this year is also to learn how to really hear with our heart, listen with our heart, and not so much with our eyes, right?
Okay.
All right, so let's just take a deep breath. And we're gonna inhale through our nose.
I just point out real quick, the music feels quite loud. I don't know if you can turn it down a smidge, just so I don't have a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's better?
Yeah. Great.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we're just gonna take a deep breath, inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhaling light and clarity all the way to our tongues. Hold it and exhale through your mouth, releasing the excess, the fear, the worries, the guilt. Inhale through our nose. Hold it and exhale. And now just bring your awareness to your breathing only through your nose. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And bring your awareness to your heart. Open your heart. Feel your heart beating. And you might get to see or sense a light that irradiates from your heart, a golden light. With each breath, the light becomes brighter and brighter. And with each exhale, the light spreads throughout your body, reaching each cell, molecule, and atom. And I become aware of my body, seeing this light going through my head, my nose, my ears, my eyes, my mouth, my neck, my chest, my back, my arms, my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, my lower back, my stomach, my hips, my legs, my feet. And I see myself like a bright light. And in this light comes the knowledge and wisdom that I must need at this moment. With this light, I also remember who am I and what is it that I came here to do. And I can feel and sense my body getting tingly with all this light and energy. This energy that comes from Source. My heart sends a light down to the center of the earth, where I connect my heartbeat with the heartbeat of the earth, with Gaia. And I can hear or sense the heartbeat of Gaia and mine beating like one. And how I feel this pulse from Earth coming right up, passing through the layers of the earth and reaching to the soles of my feet, entering into my body, reaching each cell, each atom. Passing through my heart and heading up to the crown of my head, going out of this planet, the solar system, this galaxy, and reaching to the center of the universe, connecting with the heart of the one infinite creator. And I can feel my heart and the heart of the one infinite creator beating like one. The same tempo. 3 hearts beating like one. And I notice how there is a white light that comes infinite from the top, infinite from the bottom, infinite from behind, from in front, from each side, into the middle, into my heart, creating a 360-degree prisma of white light, Christ light. And I see myself in it. And I give myself a moment of acknowledgement. I thank myself for being here, for having the opportunity to connect with myself and with the one infinite creator, to understand, feel my connection with all that is. And I thank the assistance of my angels and guides for their guidance, their support. I thank Gaia for hosting me and this planet, for the water, for the food, for the trees, for the plants, for the medicine, for the knowledge and wisdom shared with me. And I acknowledge that I am the earth and I am a cosmic being. And that my purpose on earth is to be here, present, my awareness present in each step, in each action, to recognize that I have chosen in time and space to be here for the best possibilities to create a perspective of creation. I am the creator of one perspective, a unique perspective. Of experiences that I, the creator, wants to explore. Understanding the value of the things that I do, I say, I experience. That each moment of my life is full and rich of experiences by emotions. Emotions are the ones that give the soul the purpose here. It's like massage to the soul, the energy, the fuel to move through space and time on a 3D reality. I become aware of my physical body, sitting or standing in the place that I am, in the room, in the chair. And I thank my body for the opportunity to have this experience. I recognize my body as the vehicle for me to be able to have a human experience. And that the vehicle and I, we are one. We are not separate. I recognize the things in my life that make me happy, that I enjoy in my day-to-day basis. I become aware of the foods that I like. What is my favorite food? What does it taste like? How does that make me feel? What makes me remember when I eat that specific food? I become aware of a special place out in the nature that is magical and special. If you have many, choose one for now. And how does that make you feel? when you are on that space? What memories you have? What is your favorite part of your house? How do you feel when you are on that space? What is the most important material thing that you have, that you own? Why is it so important to you? What memories bring? And now I would like you to think about a place that you would like to go and visit. Whether it's in the same country, city, town, or outside of this country, or even planet, you wish to visit physically. How does that make you feel? Who is around you? You see, you have so much to look forward. You have many memories, many experiences that enrich your life, your purpose, your path, and your soul. None of the things that you have done are meaningless. For the tiniest thing that you have done in your life brings so much learning, experience, knowledge, and memory. Bring your awareness once again to your physical body and sense and feel, how does your body sitting? Can you notice if it's straight? Or perhaps there's a pain in your body? Do you sense or feel tension? Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. Relax your scalp. Relax your hips. Relax your knees. Relax your ankles. Relax your neck. And feel how your spine begins to light from your root chakra all the way to the top. A golden light. Passing for each vertebrae, this light nourishes each one of your discs, each one of your vertebrae, cleansing, replenishing, and activating. Feel your connection with heaven on earth. And see yourself surrounded by a beautiful golden light. Return to your awareness to your heart. And with your open heart, continue your day, your night, walking from this center. Begin to bring your awareness to your body. Once again, wiggling your toes, your hands, your feet, your neck. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. All right.
Lovely.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And we'll see you here once again next week. We will make sure that we'll let you know in time too. But just that we are going to be doing once a week a meeting,
Yes.
unless we are with the Mamos, which is April 27th, that they will be on that meeting. And so thank you so much for your the Spanish was coming to me right now. Gracias por acompañar. Thank you for your company. Thank you
That's
for
right.
the energy, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.